Hey everyone, this is Studying Better channel, and welcome back to the podcast. So I have a confession to make. When I was young, I didn't really think about culture much. Like sure, I knew I had one. But it wasn't until I experienced living in another country that I began to fully realize what culture truly means. You see, when we talk about culture, many of us immediately think about things like flags, languages, famous landmarks and historical sites. Basically, the stuff you learn about in social studies class or see on a travel documentary. However, there's a lot more to culture than meets the eye. In fact, culture is almost like an invisible force that shapes how we interact with the world around us. Now let me share a personal story with you. A few years ago, I had the privilege of hosting a friend from another country who was visiting my city for the first time. I proudly took him to local food stalls, introduced him to our traditions, and even invited him to my family dinner. At the end of his trip, he said, "Your culture is so warm. It makes me feel at home, even though I'm a foreigner." That was the first time I realized culture isn't just about where you reborn. It is about how people live, connect, and make others feel. Let me explain this further with some examples. Imagine going to a restaurant and sitting down at a table. In some cultures, it's common to greet the waiter with a handshake, while in others, a simple hello is enough. In my own culture, we typically nod our heads or say hi or ciao when we enter a restaurant and wait for the waiter to come over. Then we may ask them to give us the menu, after which they will take our orders. Now, if you're from somewhere else, your experience might be different. For instance, in some places, customers call out their orders as soon as they sit down. Meanwhile, in others, you might need to use a tablet to select your food and pay the bill. Even the way we eat varies across cultures. In many countries, it's normal to eat with a fork and knife, while in others, people prefer to use only their hands. These differences may seem trivial, but they reflect deep-rooted cultural norms that have evolved over time. To truly understand culture, we must look beyond superficial differences and delve into the values, beliefs, and traditions that shape people's lives. After all, culture is what makes each country and community unique. It's a reflection of the people who live there and their way of life. But why should we care about understanding culture anyway? Well, in today's interconnected world, cultural awareness is more important than ever. We interact with people from all walks of life, whether it's through social media, international collaborations, or simply living in diverse communities. Being culturally sensitive allows us to navigate these interactions with grace and respect. Imagine working on a team with people from different countries. If you understand their cultural perspectives, you can better collaborate and achieve shared goals. You might discover innovative ideas that challenge your own way of thinking, leading to better problem solving. Plus, you can avoid potential conflicts by being aware of cultural norms and values. By embracing cultural differences, we create an environment where everyone feels valued and respected. Understanding culture also enriches our personal growth. When we immerse ourselves in various cultural experiences, we broaden our horizons and gain new insights. It challenges our preconceived notions and stereotypes, allowing us to become more open-minded and empathetic individuals. Traveling to different countries and trying new foods are great ways to learn about culture firsthand. Yet we can also explore different cultures without leaving home. Visiting local cultural events, trying traditional recipes, or even watching foreign films can expand our understanding and appreciation for diversity. The beauty of cultural exploration lies in the personal growth and connections we make along the way. Experiencing different traditions, art forms, and perspectives broadens our horizons and fosters a deeper appreciation for the richness of human diversity. Let me tell you a story about one of my own experiences with cultural exchange. During my year abroad, I had the opportunity to celebrate a traditional festival from a completely different culture than my own. Although I couldn't fully grasp the meaning behind each custom, I embraced the chance to participate and learn. One moment that stands out was when locals invited me to join them in a communal dance. Despite feeling self-conscious about my lack of knowledge, I accepted the invitation and followed their steps. To my surprise, nobody cared about my missteps or mistakes. They welcomed me into the circle and celebrated together. In that moment, I realized that cultural exchange isn't about being an expert. It's about connecting with people, sharing experiences, and creating lasting memories. I returned home with a deeper appreciation for the warmth and generosity of the community. I hope that you too can find comfort in knowing that no matter where you go or who you meet in this world, you will always find a place to belong because culture is more than just a set of customs and traditions. It's a reflection of the human spirit and our desire to connect with one another. If you've enjoyed this conversation and want to continue exploring fascinating topics, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And here's another episode that I think you'll love. It's about making friends as an adult. If you've ever struggled with shyness or felt the difficulty of forming connections as you've grown older, this episode is for you. I'll see you there. Until then, let's keep the world connected through understanding.